The term Roopkatha literally translates into a fairy tale. In the contemporary times, Roopkatha for a university student is all about their placement, a gateway to the professional realm and the culmination of their academic endeavors, signifying their hard earned success. Let us welcome Debrup. Sorry. Okay. Today, we are back with yet another inspiring story of success, hard work, and determination. Let us welcome Dibyorup Nath, a student of BTech CSC, 6 years, from Techno India University, who has been successfully placed in the TCS Digital. Welcome, Dibyorup, on behalf of the university and the entire Techno India group. I extend a heartfelt congratulations on your achievement and wish you great success.
Thank you, ma'am. So I'm glad to be here.
Right. So, Diparu, tell me something. You've just been awarded a bronze medal, right, in the 2024 convocation of Techno India University. And you have also successfully secured a placement. What has been the highlight of your university life and in terms of campus placement?
Um, First of all, the friends, they are awesome. And the professors, I got access to a lot of great professors. And other than that, we got several resources from the university to prepare for this opportunity. So, yeah, I think that's the highlight.
Right. So you've recently secured a position at TCS Digital, as I mentioned. Could you provide our viewers with some insight regarding the organization and the overall workplace experience?
Um, yeah, so as everybody knows, Tata is one of the biggest organizations, and TCS is world's one of the most service based corporations. So, being part of TCS is something I'm very glad to be. So, yeah.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about how you were aware of this vacancy in TCS, and could you share a little bit about your job interview experience?
Okay, so firstly, we got a mail that TCS is hiring, and we also had this event where TCS came on campus, and it was called Sirius, and we were given two Microsoft certifications that we had to complete, and those who completed both of them would get one extra opportunity. So initially I completed that, and I got an opportunity for let's say a priority NQT, and on that I cracked the ninja profile, and then I got the interview for the ninja profile and I cracked it. Later on, I also got the opportunity to upgrade my profile, and that way I also had to give the NQT again, and I got the digital interview, and then I cracked the digital interview as well.
Right. So could you elaborate a little bit on the kind of a job profile you have, the job role you have at the moment?
Okay, so TCS Digital is a very development centric role. So I'll probably be developing software solutions and functioning as part of a cross functioning team. So, other than that, I'm hoping to maybe communicate with stakeholders, give presentations, but mostly it's a development centric role.
Right. And in what ways do you think the university contributed towards your success?
The university provided us with grooming sessions. Those were very helpful because we didn't have any real world interview experience. So, those sessions really helped me. And other than that, there were training sessions, and those training sessions were very important because we were given insights into what kind of questions might be asked in interviews. So that's pretty different from what we are taught as part of our BTech curriculum because that's very academic. But this is more of a professional setting. So
Right. So you did a BTech 6 year BTech CSC course.
yeah.
So tell us something about how this course equipped you for the industry.
So after class 10, I knew that I am not that into physics, chemistry, and all that. So I decided that since I got a 94 in computer applications in ICSE, I decided that I should pursue that because I also had a knack for it.
Right.
And ICSE also promotes the Java programming and everything. So yeah, that was a very good booster towards inspiring me to pursue this course. And so I decided that I should enroll in 6 years BTech. So it involves 3 years of diploma and then 3 years of BTech. And that 3 years of BTech, as most people might know it, is a lateral entry. So I did that, and those 2 extra years of engineering, I think that really helped me.
Right. You were mentioning that there were classes that actually assisted you towards the job interview. Can you, explicate a little more? Can you explain a little more on those classes? What kind of classes were there, and how did they facilitate in your job interview?
Um, we had 3 types of classes. One was the aptitude classes. Now, aptitude is something that's very basic level of maths, but the point of the aptitude exam is not to actually solve the question, it's about solving it quickly. So, we had to learn certain tricks to solve these things. So, those were taught in the aptitude classes. And we also had grooming sessions where they told us how to sit in an interview, how to speak in an interview. And other than that, we also had technical sessions where we were taught about interview centric technical concepts.
Right. Now, this is more personal, this question. So, you are likely aware that you are going to transition, you're going to move away from your student life and you're going to enter into the professional realm, right? So, are you anticipating any sort of challenges or any sort of adjustments, and how are you preparing to navigate them?
Um, yeah, I think transitioning from college or school to a workplace is going to make my life a lot more structured. I will have tighter deadlines. I'll have to be held accountable for every small mistake. So these things are very new when I'm in a company. So I think because I had some Rotaract experience, I think that will help me better navigate, because Rotaract has a lot of working professionals, and uh, collaborating with them on a regular basis has equipped me with certain basic ideas about how we should work in a professional setting. So yeah.
Right, right. At this point, it is important for me to, mention here and emphasize that at Techno India University, we prioritize the holistic development of our students, and we support not only their academic endeavors, but also we help them cultivate their creative interest. And hence, we have a lot of clubs, the cultural club, the sports club, and all of these clubs focus on co-curricular activities that are much needed for the individual's, professional success and achievements, be they in terms of working in a fast-paced environment or in terms of brainstorming innovative ideas. So, on that note, Dibyorup, I would like to ask you 3 questions. In fact, so were you a member of any such club while at Techno India University? How did you get involved in these clubs, and how did these clubs help you towards your holistic development? And a final question: what was your camaraderie like with your co-members?
So when I was in my first year, we had some seniors who came to us and asked us to join them in these clubs. So there's the cultural club, there's the tech club, and there's the coding club. And initially, I signed up for all of them, and this also gave me access to many new friends from other departments that I didn't have access to otherwise. I also got access to these seniors who would otherwise not know me that well, but working with them on these events helped me know them better, and they also helped me in certain cases. Other than that, I would also like to say that uh, participating in these clubs definitely helped me get out of the cocoon, because when I was in school, I was not an introvert, but um, I was not aware of how to take responsibilities. So these clubs also help me understand how you take responsibilities and help an event. So we helped organize fests, and of course that was a very new experience for me. And lastly, I want to mention that while you participate in these clubs, don't forget that academics is going to be your top priority. So always participate, but keep your academics first.
Right. Any incident that you remember while participating in fests or participating in these clubs that you would like to share with the viewers today?
Um, yeah, so in I think it was 2019, and the band that came, I think I got like four autographs from them and on my t-shirt. So that was really new for me because I had never attended a concert. So I really liked that experience.
Right. So you didn't mention in the other question about your friends, and of course, I asked you about your memorable times that you spent at Techno India University. Tell me, how did your friends react to the news of your placement?
Uh, I have a small friend circle. It's like 3 4 people, but most of them were very happy, and the closest of them always are like, give us a party for this, for that. So when they got to know about it, they were like, when's the party? So that was their way of telling me that how happy we are.
Right. And do you think they are watching this show right now?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So tell me about how did this placement change you as an individual? I mean, when did you receive the placement? What was your reaction? And what did you feel? After you got a call regarding the placement.
um yeah, I was ecstatic when I got that letter. So I instantly called my parents, and they were out, so I called them, and they asked me to order anything that I want to eat.
Right.
So I did that, but I kept the bill reasonable. I didn't
Okay.
go overboard. Yeah, I was very happy.
And did this boost your confidence, the placement?
Sure, yeah, I was not unsure that I'll get the placement, but with so many people uh, applying for the job, it's always there the thought that maybe I won't get selected. So when I did, so it was still great.
Right. And you just mentioned your parents, I think, and how was your reaction? How was the reaction of your parents, your family, your relatives? What did they think about the placement?
They were very happy. So they have helped me a lot throughout the 6 years and even before that. So they were very happy, and I think they are the biggest pillar actually. Without them, I don't think I would have succeeded, because other than funding my education, which is the primary one, they also went the extra mile. So they would stay up with me all night because I am a night owl. So my mom would wake up at, like, let's say 3 a.m. and cook something for me because I was studying for the next day exam. My father might be up with me helping me with a project. So yeah, I think those things are very important, and without them I don't think I'll have succeeded the way I did. So yeah.
Right, Devarup. Since you mentioned parents, I would also like to emphasize here to all my viewers that, of course, parents love and nurture us unconditionally, and the university acknowledges their silent sacrifices by emphasizing family values and, of course, teaching students to maintain strong ties with their family and heritage, even amidst their pursuit for success. So, we encourage at Techno India University, we encourage everyone to respect and value their family and especially their parents. Our ongoing initiative, Briddhohin Hok Briddhashram, on one hand highlights our dedication to social service and supporting the elderly who are left without any support system, and on the other hand stresses the importance of honoring and standing by our parents throughout their lives. I would also like to mention here that we also run episodes known as the Parent Diary, where parents also speak about their experiences to our viewers. Now, Deeparup, since we were talking about parents, I would like to know what how would you define your parents' contribution in your journey so far?
Like I said, they funded it, first of all. That's the
Right.
most important part. Other than that, they went the extra mile, and even when I was preparing for my interviews, my father would almost spend half the day or even more watching videos and trying to curate some extra resources that might help me for the interview. So I think those things really helped because I didn't ask for it. They did it on their own. And at least 80% of what they sent me was often useful, and the rest 20% of course is not their field. So yeah, but most of it was extremely helpful, and I think that really helped me because I'm focusing on, let's say, the academic part, and they would send me questions on managerial rounds.
Mhm.
And I didn't have the time to actually curate those questions during the preparation phase. So they did that, and I think that helped.
Right. This is a related question, but is there anyone in particular to whom you would like to dedicate your success to?
Again, it has to be my parents.
Right. Any incident that you remember? Of course, you mentioned this one incident where your parents were helping you
Mhm.
for the job interview. Any other incident that you remember while you were studying, you were facing some, challenging situations and they helped you overcome?
Okay, so I spend most of my time focusing on the technical round and the managerial round. So I had, let's say, 20 days to prepare, and at least 18 days I had studied only technical and managerial questions. So on the last day, I was worried that I might fail the HR round. So my
Okay.
dad spent almost the whole night, and he prepared a list of 50 questions on HR round, and he printed those out and sent it to me. So yeah, that was very helpful.
Right. So are you relieved now that you have a placement?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. And what are your plans now that you have graduated? What are your plans now? Of
Uh,
course, besides joining TCS Digital, what are you thinking of right now?
uh, I think I would like to pursue an MBA at some point. Not right now, maybe. And other than that, I think I'll start investing, because that's very important in our generation. We can't rely on FDs or savings interests these days. So I have to learn all that. That will be a new learning phase for me. So, yeah.
Right. What is your, I would say your advice, a piece of advice you would want to give, students who would be, sitting for a placement or who are looking for placements at the moment? What should they do and what should not they do?
Okay. So if you are looking for a placement, first you need to be clear which kind of role you're looking for. So if, let's say, you have spent your 3 years or 4 years working on web development projects, don't try to apply to machine learning jobs or AI jobs, because it's a waste of your time. You should apply to what you are good at. First of
Mhm.
all, focus on that, because I've seen many people who just apply to everything, but that's a waste of your time, because then you will be worried about that interview and have to study a new topic just because you got the interview call, if you do. So first, focus on your strengths, and next, try to reduce the partying for 4 years and focus on the academics portion of your life, because after that, once you have a job, you'll probably have more time to party and a peace of mind, because I know people who haven't been placed yet and they are really worried. So yeah.
Okay. Now this is more on a somber note. So this question is about your participation as a citizen. So my first question to you is that do you concur that your nation has played a significant role in shaping your life, right? And my second question is that what to you is the definition of a model citizen in terms of contributing to the betterment of society and to our country at large?
Uh, Absolutely, I concur, because India has such a huge population that the environment is very competitive,
Mhm.
and that environment was a big driving force for me, because there are at least 1,000 more boys or girls who are applying for the same role that I am. So if I am not ahead of the competition, I won't get the job. So that definitely helped. Other than that, as a model citizen, I do have a goal, and that is I want to make higher education accessible to more people, because currently the percentage is, I think, around 27 to 28% of
Mhm.
Indians who are enrolled in higher educational courses. So I think that's pretty low, and that needs to increase.
Right. So, I'd like to emphasize here that at Techno India University, we strive to instill essential human values and ethical principles, fostering an environment conducive to both academic and moral development. We also nurture patriotism by honoring our national heroes and soldiers who safeguard our borders. We are glad that our students are imbibing nationalistic sentiments and are trying to contribute to the growth of their nation in their own unique ways. Okay, and of course, I mean, I would like to know more about about your university life, the Burup. So tell me about your friends. I mean, if have they been placed, and how are you celebrating with your friends and with your family? So tell us a little bit more about that as well.
My friend circle has been placed.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is even preparing for flying school because he wants to be a pilot. So I think my friends have a really great placement situation going on right now. And what was your second question?
Yeah. So how are you planning to celebrate with your friends right
Yeah.
now? Yeah.
So I we have made a plan. As soon as we get our first salaries, we do want to go to our favorite restaurants and give treats to each other. Uh, yeah, I think that. And other than that, I also want to give certain gifts to my parents.
Right.
And my father has always wanted to visit the African jungles.
Okay.
So maybe not so soon, but maybe within a few years, I want to do that.
Right. And where do you see yourself if you were to stay in TCS Digital? Where do you see yourself, and how do you see yourself contributing there in your workplace?
Um, well, my profile is quite AI, cloud, IoT centric. I have never been too much focused on web dev. So, as a digital candidate, I hope that I'll be given projects along those lines. And since TCS is also gearing up along
Hmm.
those fields, I think I'll be able to contribute well in that domain.
Right. Tell us a little bit about about your college life, the fest that you have participated. I think one of them was a tech fest. So what did you learn from those fests, and how important are they in your overall growth and development?
From the tech fests, I enjoyed the Robo Wars because I had no idea about robotics. So while I didn't personally participate in making a robot, I was quite excited to see how they are made, what they do, how they function. So that was interesting because I believe that learning
Hmm.
should be a continuous thing. So learning something about robotics, which is completely out of my comfort zone, that was interesting. I also learned what hackathons are
Right.
because I had never seen or participated in a hackathon, and so I did participate in one, and that was a really enlightening experience. As for the cultural fest, like I said before, I got to take some responsibilities that I hadn't taken before, so that was helpful because I got exposed to a new sort of domain.
Right. Okay, tell me something, Dibyorup. Since there's been a lot of talk about AI, metaverse, and all of that. Is it going to impact job opportunities and placements for tech students? I mean, is it going to be positive? Is it going to be negative? What is your idea of that?
I think lately this has been quite a controversial topic that
Mm.
AI might steal jobs, but I always give this one analogy. When my grandmother, my mother's mom, used to work in the railways, at that point of time, I believe they used to add bills using a calculator, or was it by hand?
Right.
And later on, computers came and
Mm-hmm.
that job was replaced.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that was a harmful change. It
Mm-hmm.
helped us move on from something that we didn't have to do anymore and focus on something that's more of a greater impact task. So I think AI will also become something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
Those who know how to leverage it will benefit, and those who are not learning it may or may not have their jobs taken away. But AI will also create more jobs than it takes away. So that's very important to understand. And personally, I like the idea that AI and it's AI and AR merged
Mm-hmm.
together will be a very good learning mode, because when you can see something visually and
Right.
something that adapts to you, that's a very good way of learning, because I learn less from reading, more from listening and watching. So I think that would help people like me. And lastly, I think AI is something that is more of a assistant than a replacer. AI cannot do creative tasks. It can mimic creativity. So please don't confuse them.
Right. Now you were talking about watching, listening, and that sort of drove my curiosity. So I wanted to know, what are your hobbies? What are your passion? I mean, what do you do in your free time? And how do you sort of balance that? You've been studying. You of course you have parents, you family, you friends. And of course you have a social life as well. So what are your passion? And how do you sort of keep a balance in terms of the other activities that you have?
Um, my hobbies primarily are cooking. I like cooking. I have been studying some foreign languages for a while. I'm not a master of them yet, but I'll soon be.
Okay.
And I also like reading books, novels, and also educational books. I was not a reader before, it's a recent thing. And I also like to listen to instrumentals.
Mm-hmm.
I like to create graphics.
Mm-hmm.
I like to play chess.
Right.
And as for maintaining a balance, I think uh, while I was in college, it was
Mm.
easier. But now that I'm a fresher, it won't be that easy. I won't pretend it is easy to maintain work life balance as a fresher.
Right.
But depending on which stage of my career I'm in, maybe in 5 6 years, I'll have a better work life balance. But of course, I should try and I will try. For that, I have my priorities set. So, first, number one is always learning
Right.
and the work that I'm doing.
Mm.
Number two is family and friends. And number three is health, relaxation, all of that.
Right.
So, I'll have to maintain a balance. If I have a lot of workload, I'll still have to wake up early, exercise at least for 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, a sedentary lifestyle is a big problem for software engineers. So,
Right.
I don't want that to ruin my health,
Right.
because what's the point of working and earning if I
Right.
am not healthy?
Absolutely. I wanted to ask you, since you said that you recently started reading, right? It's a recent thing. What are you reading at the moment?
I have been reading a lot of articles lately
Okay.
on how Neuralink is working, because that's out of my comfort zone and I like to be out of my comfort zone. So it's very interesting to see that people can control mouse pointers without touching anything, just by thinking.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm trying to understand the biology behind it as well.
Right.
And biology was never my strong suit, so that's also a great thing for me,
Right.
learning something new.
Right. Also, you mentioned that you are going to master, quote unquote, languages, right? So tell us a little bit about the languages you've learned, and of course, Techno India does offer foreign languages. So tell us, how important are languages? I mean, of course, I mean this could be important for those pursuing humanities and social science, but how is it important for those pursuing the sciences, or those pursuing a career in technology? How does language play a role there? And what are the languages you're pursuing currently?
Uh, I had previously pursued Spanish for a
Right.
year
Right.
and then I lost touch with it.
Right.
But with some revision, I'll get back on track.
Okay.
And I also have Spanish friends who are from Spain,
Right.
so that helps. Other than that, I have recently started learning German.
Okay.
It has been a month. And I think, as someone who's working in the IT or software industry, learning foreign languages helps you unlock opportunities outside English speaking countries, because Indians are very competitive.
Right.
And since most Indians speak English, if you know a foreign language, you can apply to a job in those countries where other Indians are not.
Hmm.
Indians dominate in all English speaking countries. So I'm hoping to dominate in Germany or Spain or other Spanish and German speaking countries.
Right. You did not say much about your experience with the faculty at Techno India University. Do you want to say share us an experience or an anecdote with us regarding your experiences here at Techno India?
Yeah, there are several great professors whom I plan to stay in touch with even after graduating. Uh, Anecdotes. Yeah, this one time I needed help with understanding a concept regarding something that's not in my domain. So I reached out to a professor and he gave me extra time and taught me how it works.
Okay.
So that was a really good thing for me because I didn't expect that to happen.
Mhm.
I just hoped he might suggest me a book or an article or something. But he explained the topic to me.
Right. And so tell me something now that you're going to embark in in a professional realm, within the professional realm, how are you going to maintain, a work-life balance? How are you, not only about work-life balance now, but work-life balance in the future? Because as I mentioned earlier as well, that this is a transitional phase that where you've come out of your student life and you are embarking, in a professional field. So tell us, that what are you anticipating and how are you going to maintain that healthy work-life balance?
Um, I think maintaining the work life balance is a lot about time management and setting priorities. So, time management is something that I focus on quite a bit.
Hmm.
I have like 100 alarms that remind me of this and that I need to do. Other than that, priorities. Like I said before, I have three priorities set, and when I'm short on time, I prioritize things based on those. But I think that'll have to change slightly because while I'm a fresher, I may have to sacrifice a bit of family time and focus more on my health and work because in the upcoming few years, I need to struggle and prove myself in the industry.
Right. My last question to you, Dibyorup, is that, so how do you see yourself? So Dibyorup in the first year and Dibyorup post graduation when he was receiving the bronze medal. How have you, how has your I would say your academic life come along so far, and and how has it changed over the over the last 6 years that you have studied and engaged at the Techno India University?
When I joined the diploma after class 10, I was 16. So I was obviously quite naive
Right.
and a bit overconfident. But those things have gone away, I think. And I have come to realize a lot of harsh truths now. And those things have really changed me. Other than that, I think initially I thought that you just complete your course and you'll get a 1 CR job. But I have come to realize that other than that, there's a lot more to do to get that 1 CR job. So I think these realizations are very important for freshers because everybody thinks that they'll get that, but then they come to realize that you need to work your way up to it. I think these changes have shaped me a lot.
Right. And just one last question. Okay, sorry, this is the last question, I promise. How did you feel to be convocated by the 14th president and in the presence of other eminent guests at the 2024 convocation of Techno India University?
It was a great feeling. I was personally given the degree by my mentor, Professor Devashish Chaudhuri. He's an ex-DRDO scientist and ex-DGM to the government of India. He was also my mentor because he helped me through my final year project for one whole year. So it was a great feeling when he appreciated that I got the bronze medal. He patted me on my back on stage, and that was
Right.
great.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing your invaluable insights, Dibyorup. I think some of your points were excellent in terms of maintaining work-life balance, in terms of the placement experiences you shared, the do's and don'ts of placement was very very insightful. I think, and with that we conclude today's episode. As I would like to express my gratitude to Dibyorup for joining us, and of course for sharing his journey with us. We wish him success for his future endeavors, and I hope that his story will inspire others to follow their dreams. Thank you, all our viewers, for joining us today, and a very